Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Unlimited Network Mastermind of every Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Today is February 7 already, and here we are getting together every Saturday to master our minds, to support our conscious entrepreneurship, and to really, support the ability to become the masters of creation that I think we are, and to really master the laws and to really understand how we need to work inside, from the inside out, to create the lifestyle that of our choice. So I love this time together here to really empower each other and to guide each other and to expand and to let go the fears of becoming more and having more and enjoying more, and to really embody more of our true nature. I think at the end, this conscious entrepreneur is really helping us to be more the expression of who we truly are on this earth and to have it all. So here we go. Thank you for being with us, the ones that you're here live. I love this, feeling of being together with like-minded people. I think is so important. You go out of these places and maybe people don't understand you, or they don't believe in what you are doing, or whatever. And here we are all together to nurture that believe, and to really touch the space that where we can embody the faith, the certainty that the universe is on our side, and that we can co-create with the universe whatever it is that we are choosing here. So I love to be part of this. And then welcome also to the ones that you are in the other side, that you can always write a question if you have, or any thing that you would like to share. You can write it down, and we will read it, and we can answer or acknowledge or whatever it is that you need there. So let's begin, and we want to begin with celebration. I love I wanted to talk a little bit about the momentum, capital letters, that we can create by doing every day something for your business, and with the quality of your actions very conscious. Like I remember one of the books that really impressed me, with that we studied all together last year, was The Science of Getting Rich, that I'm studying it again with my group in Spain. And this having your actions a certain way, to really be impeccable in your actions. And to me lately, it's not like I work a lot of time into my business, but I'm really making sure that when I work in my business, that I do every day. I'm committed to do something for my business. It's my business, my baby, my creation, the vehicle that I choose to allow me to receive cash flow, and especially residual income is the vision that I have for our company, to really manifest residual income in a short period of time, maybe 2-3 years. I can be, financially free, and that's what I need to work inside to manage that, and to really engage outside in a manner that shows the quality and the consciousness and all what we are learning here together. So I want to celebrate, that there is a thing that I'm calling lately kind of a momentum. Like when you keep doing everything, your actions, and you are clear on what it is that you want. I keep having on my, in the back of my consciousness here, that is present every day, that I do want to sign up more than 100 people personally register in my business here. Is so beautiful, because I don't feel obsessed about it, but I got one new person from LinkedIn the other day, and I don't even know the person. So there is something that I call you: keep doing what you do, be open, of course, learn your business well. I would say, you know what you're doing here, but there is something that becomes attractive into us, so don't lose your intention, and just rejoice into it, and maybe things happen that start to appear in your life. That's what I see here right now. So I wanted to celebrate that. Arne has 10 new people in his team. I have 1 new people in my team. So doesn't matter how big or small. The thing is that we can become attractive, capital letters, magnetic, to what it is that we want. And I think that is the easy aspect, the ease with capital letters that we are ready to start to experience here. So I invite all of us to celebrate, and to, every little success that you have, to really enjoy it, to celebrate it, and to nurture it, so you have more of that in your life. So that's one thing that I wanted to say. So we welcome all these new people. Many of you are going to, I know that some of you are going to see the video later, but I mean, welcome again. And I also want to celebrate the commitment that I see from all of us here, from all of us that we join in, the calls of the company, all of us that we are in the Heart Business call every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, all the ones that we get together on Tuesday, 9 p.m. Spain time with my Spanish group, Celio. I just love so much to have you with me in everything that we do here, and I want to celebrate that, the commitment that we have as conscious business entrepreneurs to really grow. I mean, without the inner work, we can really go and fight the outside world. We will never make it. So I feel so grateful and proud of being here with all of us, and to celebrate that we are walking our journey consciously. So thank you for that. And then before we go to the reading that is going to be very powerful again, I want to open the pages for a practical point that I think we need to get very familiar, so we make it super easy. That is the 3 steps that we need to do registration when we register someone. And I will love your input here, Arne, to make it super easy. 1, 2, 3, and to see a little bit the experience of people. So what we are supporting us to really get this clear, So if you want to open the space, Arne, for you to share that would be fantastic.
Yeah, the easy way is when somebody is ready to register, just to inform them up front that there are 3 steps to the enrollment process. As soon as they hear that, it'll be easy. But if they just hear that, okay, just go and enroll, then they think they will be done after the first process. I'm sure the company IQ is changing how this is going to be in a little bit, but for now, there are 3 steps, and as soon as you know it's 3 steps, it's easy, and you can read about them exactly line by line, step by step on unlimitednetwork.com/how to enroll. So that's pretty much it. Well, I can say, so you join now, you become a socialite, then you go back and log into the back office, you go and make sure all your account information is there under my account. That's 2. 3 is you go and make a purchase, and that's it.
Thank you very much, Arne. Just because I want all of us to be aware, like when someone registered that this person, for example, to give you a real example, I don't know the person, so I just wrote, you are ready, yes, okay, well, there is 3 steps, and I copy and paste. Literally copy and paste what we have in our Unlimited Network website on how to start, how to register, copy and paste it on an email that I send it to the guy. We have a video that explains step by step. So just to make sure that it's 1, 2, 3. And the guy did really good step 1 and missed the step 2 and 3, and he's doing that today, he said. So what I'm saying is, like, just be aware that it's 1, 2, 3, and you just need to check on your back office if that person has a 995 on the when you see your downline, you see if that person has paid or not, and then you check it and you go back and forth until the person really gets, and it's beautiful. I think we need to do it, several times us individually to see that it's simple, but it's new, and instead of being just 1 step, it's 3. So make sure that you know that. And after that, if we are ready here, we are going to welcome our master leader here, that is Doc Fram, to help us to keep integrating. I mean, to me, I can read and read. Really, I mean, the last chapter about receiving was very, very important to me, in the sense of acknowledging. I was all week really bringing attention to how much a giver I am. And I highlight many things, so don't has to be money only, It's just smiles and love, and so I switched this week from doubting that I'm a giving to receive whatever, to realize I'm a great giver. I mean, I give a lot from my heart, and the passion that I have with life, and even money that I start to donate right now. I start to make a little money, so I love to take the habit of doing that, So I just want to say thank you for this journey that we're doing together. I love it. And just to revise a little bit, we went through the law of thinking, and that was the first law that we were mastering here or studying. That was really to realize that we can think with our heart, we can feel our thoughts, so we can choose with much more awareness than if you go on automatic with the superficial mind. So that's very powerful to know. We studied the law of supply, and you know, to really build up the faith that when you ask and you will receive. So to really make sure inside our hearts, inside our being, that we have the right to ask for what we want, and that the universe is not going to give less to anybody else, you know. So that was beautiful. The law of attraction, that really shake me too personally, understanding the expectation energy, you know, like desire, and to really unite that desire with free expectation. So I'm keep mastering all of that, but I love it to have that certainty. I expect this to happen without attachment. I keep dancing on that, but I do love the energy of certainty, the energy of expectation. You know, it's something that I'm discovering this year. So thank you for that too. And then last week we worked with the law of receiving, and here's where I was managing what I was explaining to you just before, you know, like the giving, receiving, to really does that balance with elegance and easy, you know, and easiness. So, and today we go directly to the law of increase. So Doc Fran, if you are ready, let's teach us a little bit about this chapter to see what we can integrate, you know, about being certain that this law is a law of the universe for us. So welcome, welcome, Doc Fran.
Well, good morning, and thank you. And yeah, it is. This is really fun to do, because the whole genesis of studying this book was the fact that most people in their quest to self-development have encountered the idea of the law of attraction, and a common frustration is, all right, I know about it, I'm thinking about it, I'm desiring it, I'm doing this and that, and yet it doesn't seem to be manifesting all of the abundance that I was looking for. And so, you know, we constantly, it's like a two-edged sword to be consciously aware, and if we don't have the laws express themselves the way we want them to or think we need them to, then we start to create doubt in ourselves. What am I not doing right? What am I doing wrong? Et cetera, et cetera. So it became very enlightening when we encountered this idea of the 11 spiritual laws. And so it is expanding that. And Monica, I love when you recap the laws that we've already gone over each week, because it does help to refresh and bring back into consciousness in the present time that which we've already studied and are in the process of trying to apply. And the law of increase is, you know, I'm just delighted that they actually put it into place by a name like this, because we've studied and we know that God is our source, and that God, of course, is infinite, and that our universe is infinitely expanding continually, and yet I never made the jump into understanding why it's important to live and understand the law of increase. What's really funny is that most of us have been trained from childhood to be satisfied, to, you know, not want, to not expect more, to not ask for more, to not and isn't it funny that that's completely counter to the spiritual law of increase, because life itself is a quest for increase, and the only reason that we don't experience it in most cases is because we have shut ourselves off through limiting fixed ideas to understanding that it's okay to expect more, want more, and ask for more. And so let's get into the law of increase. And there's an interesting twist on this, which I found, and I think it'll be a good source of discussion by the time I'm finished reading this short chapter for us. Let everything that hath breath praise the Lord. Praise ye the Lord. Psalm 150. Without exception, I believe everyone has read or heard the delightful story of Aladdin and his magic lamp, how a poor boy has stumbled upon the little genie who led him to find a dusty old lamp. It was a magic lamp, and when he rubbed it briskly, a little man appeared out of a cloud before him and asked to fill his wishes. We as children have always dreamed of fairies and of the beautiful things in life that we wished we might have. Yet many of our dreams remained as such because we could not do anything about them. In truth, we may not believe in fairies, but we know there is a principle equivalent to the magic lamp. No, it is not something material that we carry about and rub at will to find a little genie to do our bidding. It is an understanding which enables us to use the law more clearly, and in using it we stimulate our good and bring about much for our pleasure and happiness that seems like magic or miracles. This understanding is the act of praising God, the law, for that which we desire, and invariably the fulfillment of that desire is speeded up almost to magic proportion. This method is, of course, not new. It has been used throughout the Bible from the beginning to the end. Praise has ever been a common method used to employ the attention, favor, and blessing of God, however one believed in it. In early history, we learned that the people would bring their sacrifices and place them on the altar to gain the favor of Jehovah. Following this act, they would render their praise in song and ceremony, believing that by doing so, they would be favored. Their prayers would be granted. Read the Song of Moses and note its structure. Read the fall of Jericho and note the process used by the people, who marched about the city walls until they crumbled and fell, and who became conquerors. Read the last Psalm of David, and in doing so, remember that it has been used by the Hebrews for ages and has proven most effective throughout the centuries. The singing of songs or the blowing of trumpets does not bring the results you pray for, nor do you suddenly gain favor with God because of it. The effect of your efforts does not influence God in any sense, but it does influence you. It enables you to be lifted up and unconsciously touch the law and gain its blessing. What has been an unconscious act or an accidental method can become a known fact and a regular means of stimulating your good. If one learns the simple method of praise, that alone will stimulate and increase his good. Jesus once said, if one has the faith as a grain of mustard seed, he can move mountains. If one can realize the power of praise, he can do the same. Praise is complementary to faith. Whereas faith is wisdom and understanding, praise is the application of that understanding. Faith is the boiler that holds a substance of power, whereas praise is the fuel that generates that power into an active force. If you must constantly watch your boiler and care especially for the fuel that charges it in order to get the most out of it, then the fuel is a very important part of the machinery. In like manner, faith without praise is but a cold boiler, an inert mass of machinery. It may be nice to look at or talk about, but of no value more than that until it is put into motion and produces. Praise is a stimulant of the mind. It quickens prayer. It magnetizes all the good around you. It transforms that good into usable, visible substance. A woman was crying bitterly and praying tearfully to God for her release. The master, hearing her, silenced her and said, "Is your God a God of tears, of grief and anguish and pain? No, God is a giver of joy and peace and happiness and love. You want peace and joy, yet you pray to your Father with tears. If you want black, do you ask for white? If you ask for a fish, do you expect a serpent? If you ask for bread, do you expect a stone? You can only get what you expect, for the unchanging law is ever working to supply you. Prayer should not be one of supplication, pleading, begging, entreating, a sad state. It should be one of claiming, declaring, decreeing, praising, and joyful thanksgiving. Praise is an avenue of prayer through which the spirit law can express itself. Praise is a broad highway, while all other forms are only feeding arteries. Through this inherent law, when man praises, he opens himself upward to God. He lifts his consciousness to a higher realm and becomes a greater channel to receive the good that is ever waiting to come to him. Praise opens a little door in his mind that enables him to draw closer to God and to be attuned to the divine force within and about him. Praise is the shortest route to complete any demonstration and the quickest way to enjoy effectual prayer. Praise expands and opens the mind upward, while its opposite, condemnation, contracts and restricts. The whole creation responds to praise and is glad. You may have noted how a trainer, after each performance of his charges, would give them a satisfied pat or some morsel of food they especially liked. That man was wise in using the law and bringing about the best work from his charges, and thereby giving the best performances. You have noticed perhaps how children will glow with gladness and joy when they receive commendation and praise. Those who have trouble with their servants or helpers can learn much by using this method, and will find a great difference in the quality and quantity of work produced. You have experienced at some time, I'm sure, this law in your affairs. Have you ever had someone to condemn or criticize your efforts when you were trying to please? Did you not feel like folding up within yourself? Perhaps you even felt like quitting the job and letting someone else worry about it. Least of all, such an experience suppressed your interest and zeal, and you did not desire to do better. That is how one reacts when the law is reversed. Whereas when someone praises you for your efforts, you feel like expanding and doing better, trying harder to be more perfect, your interest becomes greater because of that pleasure. And with your happiness, you bring happiness into your work and all around you. It's a well-known fact that even plant life is responsive to praise, for I've seen flowers praised to longer life and beauty. When we are praised or praise ourselves, there is a physical response within our bodies. Doctors tell us that the cells of our body respond to the law. They seem to know and to expand in strength and capacity and even in intelligence. Of course, we know that it is the mind working through every cell that causes the expansion. All thoughts act through an invisible ether. As water expands into power when it is heated and retards into a solid mass of ice when it is chilled, the law of spirit is reflected in the law of physics. Though we may not sense it or fully understand it, our thoughts are moving continually in this invisible ether, and they are either increasing or diminishing in power and intelligence. When we praise the richness and opulence of God, the law, our thoughts, are greatly increased in the mental atmosphere. This increase affects our being in that it reflects in everything our mind and hands may touch. If we are contracting our thoughts through fear, criticism, and complaint, we reflect that contraction and our results are delayed or frozen. It has been proven that a failing business can be praised into success. Suppose lost friends, I'm so sorry about that. Okay, let me see where I was now.
Failing business can be praised in success.
Yeah, that's mental atmosphere. Results are delayed or frozen. It has been proven that a failing business can be praised into success. Thank you, Celia. Supposed lost friends have returned their affections when the law of praise was used. One man told me that while out driving, he heard a clicking noise develop in the rear of his car. He talked to his machine and praised it to get him home safely and without delay. He drove some 30 miles and rolled into the driveway safely. When he tried to move the car further, he discovered a broken axle. A woman wrote to me stating that she was weary looking at an old carpet that had seen better days and had given good service. She tried the praise method and began to speak kindly to the old rug. Within a few days, she had word that a brand new carpet was on its way from Colorado, and that the same week she received 3 smaller rugs equally as new. Her husband, upon seeing the contrast with the new floor covering, decided hurriedly that they must have a new suite of furniture. So all in all, the law worked, and by praising the old rug, she has a newly furnished living room. Whether the changes are in inanimate things or in individuals, it matters not so long as the desired results are obtained. The law works without discrimination. But better still, though praise is good for other persons and things, it is our salvation too. Praise changes our observation, our whole outlook of life. In the past, we were in the habit of seeking our weakness and failings, as well as the shortcomings of others. But now we see differently. We look for the accomplishments, the good, and the beauty that is worthy of our praise. This in turn has a dual effect. It enriches our human self, and we are able to radiate praise, joy, courage, and happiness to all who are affected by our influence. It affects our inner self in such a way that our memory begins to retain all praiseworthy thoughts sent to it. This sets up a new system of thinking, and gradually the old thoughts that were destroying became absorbed in the new ones. Thus it became habitual to think praises, and our life takes on the likeness of all good that is worth praising. Praise with the heart is far more vital and effectual than praise with the head or praise from the lips. Praise does not flatter nor influence God as it does some humans who are turned on by superficial praise and applause. Praise is not intended for God. It is intended only for man and is an aid to enable man to lift himself upwards to become attuned with the law of God. It raises his state of consciousness that he may become more receptive to the good about him and lifts him above the lack of it. Praise raises man's vibration, speeds up activity, stimulates his faith, and contacts a higher realm of thought. We copy from the Israelites a practice that falls annually. Each year we have a Thanksgiving service, and many think it is for us to express our gratitude for the year past. If you think a moment, you can readily see that this is a reversal of the law of praise. Such a service should not be a review, it should be a preview. That is, a true Thanksgiving service should be an expression of our faith, not in the past, but in the present and in the future to come. Many of us have gotten into a rut. We want our pay in advance. We offer praise after our barns are well filled. If all is going well, we are willing to pause to give thanks for our good fortune. Anyone can be grateful with the gift already in hand. If conditions are bad, our harvest lean, or troubles beset us, we are apt to forget to praise. And we storm at our failures and often blame God for his neglect. When one can sing praises in the face of adversity, the adversity will soon disappear. This is not a promise. That is a law. Learn to render praise, to be thankful for the good at hand, and you will have found the magic lamp of spirit. This attitude of mind not only brings forth our desires, but it also generates our confidence, strengthens our faith, builds up an assurance for the things to come. Thus, to be able to praise when things appear at the darkest will invariably force the sunshine through. Our degree of faith in the law and God is measured before we receive, not afterwards. It is that degree of faith that determines what we shall be capable of receiving. This is what Jesus knew when he said, "What things soever ye desire, when you pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them." Praise is this belief in action, and that action is in the present tense. It is in the now. Samples of his work show us how he approached his problems. In one case, he turned to the patient and asked, "Do you believe?" To another, he questioned, "Do you perceive?" In one of his most trying tests, that of going to the tomb where his beloved friend Lazarus lay dead, we see his approach no different. He stood apart from the mourners, and his first words of prayer were, "Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me." What could one be thankful for at a time like that? But the master knew he was grateful for the answer to his prayer that Lazarus would be restored to life again. Directly he called out in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come forth." And the book reads that Lazarus stirred in his grave clothes and returned to his body again. At another time, 10 lepers called to the master asking to be healed. He directed them to go show themselves to the priests. Later, one of the men came back and expressed his gratitude to Jesus for having been cleansed. Jesus turned to him and asked, "Were there not 10 cleansed? But where are the 9? To the one who touched the law, he said, "Arise, go thy way. Thy faith hath made thee whole." 1 out of 10 showed his willingness to return with a grateful heart. He received a permanent healing. Many students fail to repeat their demonstrations because they take too much for granted, or they become careless with the law after they have enjoyed some blessing. One of the first requisites of the law is that we keep ever an attitude of praise and thanksgiving. All right, ever an attitude of praise and thanksgiving. If we hope to receive of God's outpouring good, we must keep ourselves receptive, and praise is one of the simplest means known to accomplish this. Be ever grateful for the very least of things, and the very most will come to you. We must keep our thoughts always uplifted, and praise is the means that we will do this. If there is any ingratitude lurking in your mind and heart, begin at once to praise the Psalm of David, "Praise ye the law, Lord." If we attune our thoughts to this law of God, that law serves us in proportion. This, the late Russell Cornwell, one of Philadelphia Baptist Temple, must have clearly understood when he called his people to attend a special service of praise in song and prayer. Anyone in his church who wished prayers for his problems was urged to come, and bringing his offerings, leave his name and state his need. One man of meager means came and asked that his daughter's name be given out. She was a patient in a mental hospital and had come to be put away for this reason. The week following the praise service, he called to see his daughter in the hospital and was amazed to have her brought down to him and pronounced healed. A woman brought her jewels and placed them on the altar as her offering. She was afflicted with a physical condition and suffered painfully. She was unable to walk without the aid of her crutches. When leaving the church after the service, she tripped and fell on the steps. As she was lifted to her feet, she realized she had been healed. Another woman, a widow, came with her mite and asked that she might keep her home, as it was mortgaged and the payments were long past due. She went home, but shortly after that it seemed that things were surely going against her. A leak broke out in a water pipe and she was forced to call in a plumber to repair it. How was she ever going to pay him? Only the Lord would know. When the plumber tore up some floorboards to repair the leak, he uncovered a can of money that her husband had hidden away, and the amount was more than enough to pay the mortgage and the plumber. These happenings are all true and can be repeated by anyone who will fulfill the law as this believing minister has done. The law cannot fail us when we do not fail it. Learn to turn the law of praise upon anything that you are praying for, and you will see action. Praise is faith in action. A faithful law, faithfully observed, will ever reward generously the observer. The law of praise will lift you from sickness to health. It will raise you from ignorance to intelligence, from poverty to affluence, from weakness to strength, from fear to courage. In fact, the law of praise will promote you in all things and in all ways. Begin using the law now. You haven't much to begin with, you say. Well, neither did Jesus when he had some 5,000 hungry souls to feed. He had only 5 loaves and a few fish. Yet he did something with them. He started action by praising the little in hand and then passed it about. You know the story. And the master said that what he did, we could do. There are no exceptions with the law. How can it be done? when you learn to take what you have and build upon it, not with scorn and condemnation, but with praise and gratitude, you are working the law, and the law will give the increase. Praise life that good is everywhere. So, very interesting, and I'm really looking forward to hearing the discussion of our mastermind this morning with regard to the name of this law. Back to you, Monica.
Wow, thank you so much, Doc Frank. I mean, I just, I'm kind of letting in everything here. It's different than when I read it than when you read it, you know, it's like I can feel it even more. And it's funny because I think that to me is helping me today.
We just lost your audio. But we're waiting for Monica. There we go. All right, yes. Monica, you're back. Good.
Now, can you hear me now?
Hear you now, yes.
Okay, great, great. So I just want to say that is a deeper level of integration to this praise that in my language, English language, whatever, I understood today, like is at the end is applicable as an appreciation, you know, when you feel the gratitude for the possibility of it and you feel the appreciation as a habit of looking what is good, you know, all the time, you know, to really stay in that frequency of the goodness and the appreciation. But I would love to hear everybody again. I mean, I took several notes here. I mean, I'm like, you know, so aware that we are coming out from the judgment, condemnation, to see the, you know, stay focused on the effort and the struggle and the complication and what's wrong, instead of to really praise the creation and praise the Lord and the laws that we are learning here, you know. So I want to hear everyone. If you can, if you feel like I can see Celio with the microphone open. I don't know if you are ready, but that will be great. Or anybody who is ready. Oh, we close the, okay. So whoever feels, yes, go for it, Celio. Welcome. Good morning.
I love the chapter, and there are many parts that I've noted and I found, you know, amazing. But in the final part that Dr. Fran was reading, the story in the church of that lady, she had lost all hope, and I mean, for her it was like the worst situation, and then a miracle happens because, you know, she goes to the church, and then in her house she asks for a plumber, and it's like a disaster, and now what's going on? And then suddenly the miracle happens. You know, there's money there, and she can pay everything she needs. So I think this attitude is so important, to expect a miracle, you know, to expect anything good. And, you know, in some moments we can be in a state of, I mean, anyone, of desperation, of thinking, oh, my situation so difficult, this, so and so, and, you know, and if we change the vibration of our attitude, then is when we open the doors for divine intervention and miracles happen. And I love this praise. You know, it's totally connected to gratitude, and you know, it's often said, but it's true. We have to be grateful every moment since we wake up, even for the smallest things. I was reading, I think it was today, you know, you have to be grateful for the smallest things, and then the other things will come, you know. But the smallest things, you know, the cup of coffee in the morning, the situation, because I think there's a tendency in our minds to, you know, to be ungrateful. There's a tendency that we take things for granted, or, you know, we just, you know, we, not that we blame God, but, you know, it's a tendency of the mind. And I love Mr. Holloway, you know, how he works on that, just to change that tendency, to create a new tendency by praise, by he says changes our observation, you know, working through every cell. The attitude of praising, the attitude of gratitude works on every cell. It's so interesting because it's really true, and then it responds to the law. So for me, this is a very refreshing chapter, and always is something magical in this mastermind. You know, I have to say, because each Saturday, especially with this last book, you know, I find something magical. It's like the chapter is precisely to the point to whatever I'm going through, you know, in my thoughts or my worries or situations, and it's like magical. So I really have an expectancy for these Saturdays, in the sense of I know each chapter is exactly telling me what I have to hear, and I love it. I just feel very inspired to praise, like you were saying, Monica, you know, to praise, faith in action. Yes, praise. Okay, the situations are never perfect. The people may not always behave in the perfect way, but if I praise, you know, and I'm grateful for whatever I have in my hands, you know, I will grab that perfection, because that's how I'm allowing the divine to work through me, and you know, without any religious connotation, but I really feel that, at least for me, and I'm sure for all of us in this group and in the company and everything, you know, we really have to allow a space for divine intervention. And this chapter, to me, is like totally geared to that. You know, just allow divine intervention. Don't try to be you there in the middle so much. Just allow that divinity to work. So it will happen like in that church to that lady, you know, the least moment you expect, suddenly, you know, the big money is there, the treasure is there, the gold is there. And, you know, this is my part, you know, I'm very touched by this chapter, really, very touched. It really, you know, it's like like a ray of sun in this cold. Okay, I go back to you.
Thank you so much, Celio. I just feel it. I feel you so much, you know, in that excitement, and you were practicing or expressing right now, you know, this expectation that you have for the mastermind, and how you see it that way, you know, like you're excited, you always get something from it. It's funny, at the end is our own focus, you know, where we are focused on, we get, you know, so it's very beautiful the way you said. And I love something that I just got from you right now, you know, like this power that we have. I can see myself, even though I feel so connected with my inner self or presence or something like that, there is a new aspect that is unfolding right now, thanks to you. You were just saying, or I sense a little bit about, you know, like to really surrender of the law of the universe. I mean, the magic of our true nature. I mean, that everything is possible. So if something happened in my car, let's say, and I have the tendency, so funny, because naturally I have the tendency, but I don't go all the way. You know, like I have the tendency, with Arne, I learned a lot about safe touch, and when something doesn't work, I put my hand and I just love the motor or the car or the situation or whatever, you know, and to really trust more. Like I really come out from this mastermind right now, thanks to you, Celio, to trust more that the divine intervention is what I need to allow. That's all, you know, instead of my perception and my stuckness and the difficulty and, oh my gosh, you know, just let go and let God take care of this, you know, and see the magnificence of what can show up here, you know, the truth, capital letters. So thank you so much, Celio. I love to feel so inspired. Who is next?
Monica, because, you know, you know that I have a practical situation that I have talked to you about. And every day I realize more that the only way to resolve it is through divine intervention. You see what I mean? So you know, by this praise, you know, by this allowing any situation in our business conflicts, in our economic conflicts, in our financial flow situations or whatever, you know, we'll thrive. But we have to give the space for that intervention. And for me, it's very practical. You know that it's very practical. I can make a practical use of each chapter. Just wanted to add.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you so much, Celio. So yes, that's the key, to practice, to embody it, to be it, you know, so thank you. Let's see, wise people here, who opens the microphone to share your passion for the truth, conscious entrepreneur. Okay. Yes, Mr. Arne?
It's me here. Yeah.
Yes.
And thank you for Doc Fran for reading, and Celio for your comments. It's love it. This book. I just love this whole book. A few things that came: praise versus faith. Faith is kind of a good thing to have, but it's subjective. But when you put it into praise, and it becomes an action, it becomes active, it becomes something we do. And the word gratitude versus, hold there, got a car coming by. I hope it's not too loud. Okay, maybe you can hear me now. So gratitude, you know, I've heard is such a, and I've been using it a lot. But I find from this chapter that praise is much more stronger, because gratitude is just, again, like faith. It's just a non-action. It's subjective. Praise, it becomes objective, even objective to oneself. I praise my body. I praise my life. It becomes an action. So I love that, to put it more into action, makes it more into production and into results. It makes sense to me. Well, I think that's the main thing I want to say now. You there? I think we lost Monica. So
this is Candace. I'll jump in.
Okay.
To me, it's building a path. That's sort of how I visualize it in my mind, is that I'm making a road to my destination, and it is paved with praise and gratitude. Those are my two foundation nuggets that I continue to work with. To me, they work in harmony. And I understand what you're saying about faith. That's very real too. It's just maybe one of the bricks we might use, because it has its place here and there, different parts. And I'm just really inspired by somebody taking the time, Mr. Hollowell, is Dr. Hollowell, to taking the time to explore this topic more deeply, because I think it is something that, added into a person's life, is one of the things that it brings true enrichment and really develops the strength and the attitudes and the so on, the different aspects of self that help us really continue on the most positive, most excellent, most delightful path. And it comes from our heart. It's still so based in love, that foundation stone of our lives, that I'm very grateful for it and eager to participate in it some more. And I'll pass the mic with that.
Thank you, Candace. I mean, so beautiful to hear you. Thank God I could come back. I just lost it for a second here. But so beautiful to listen to you. And one thing that I want to highlight, coming from what you said right now, is, you know, the importance of praising from our hearts. You know, like I see last week with the chapter of gratitude, you know, like excuse me, the chapter of what we were doing last year of giving, the giving, you know, like yes, like the to tithe, you know, and all that stuff. I always rebel a little bit with the idea, because I was super mental about, I'm going to do this, so then I'm going to get that, you know, instead of, last week I really grounded and I said, okay, let's see the energy of giver that comes naturally from my being. Is not to get anything, it's the pleasure of giving in itself. That is receiving already. So I love that today we can praise from our hearts, and we can praise from our head, knowing that is the right thing to think, that I believe at the end you're going to embody and feel a little more, you know, but to really feel it in your heart, the appreciation for who we truly are and the magic of this universe, you know, magic or miracle or whatever we want to call it, you know. So thank you, Candace, for that highlight, to really praise from our hearts, you know, to feel it, to be it, you know. So thank you. I can see here Jay without the microphone. Welcome. Jay?
Welcome. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me. It's nice to be back after. Yes. Thank you for having me today. I want to key on two things that you said in opening up the call. There were two key words that sort of hit me, where you said momentum and revisit. And you know, I always put things in a perspective of sports because I always enjoyed sports. Momentum is a kind of thing, and it's important in our business. And I think revisiting, and if you look at all great athletes, and I've said this, they're all great teams. What do? When momentum is created, it's created because of an action. And I think, you know, all this leads into it. If you start an action, you know, I'm going to make phone calls today, and something puts it off, something puts it off. But when you make that first phone call, and it's funny how momentum grows with positiveness. So you make that first phone call, and somebody answers, and they're in tune with what you're doing. You're excited, like, wow, I you know, I want to make the next phone call. And that momentum grows, and nobody knows what, you know what I'm excited. And the next person didn't answer the phone, or it didn't work, but you're already in that good mood. And you start that moment. Let me make another phone call. Let me make another phone call. Let me just get on a phone call. And positive grows from that. And a lot, you know, you don't know why momentum. You know, like a baseball team, one guy gets a hit, another guy gets a hit. They get on a winning streak. There's no rhyme or reason, but everybody's just in tune to that action. And momentum, when you get going, it's the hardest thing to stop. But when you stop it, it's the hardest thing to get going again. So that's why we always need that continuous action to keep that momentum. And, you know, we've all hardest thing, like starting that flywheel. You push and you push and you push. And then all of a sudden, once that first revolution, that second revolution, that third revolution starts spinning, gets faster and faster and faster, then you can't stop it. And we all need to get on that track. And then what you said about revisit, you know, you're revisiting a book, you know, and we've all, and I've said this here, and you've heard it. You read that book, and then you read it again, and there's a chapter stuck in there that you never saw before. Like, how did it get in there? And it's revisiting the basics, and I always say that. It's like spring training is revisiting. Every year, baseball players who've thrown baseball since they were 8 years old, now they're in their 30s, their late 20s, they're making millions and millions of dollars, and where do they go? And the coach says, okay, throw the ball to the catcher. You catch it and then throw it back to him. That's how spring training opens. Grown men doing the exact same thing that they've been doing for 20 and 30 years. It's the same thing with reading a book. You're revisiting it. If the teachings are true and right, you know what, we need to, you know, I haven't ridden a bike in how long? You know, I need to go out and revisit it to learn it again. Not that I'm not going to know how, but I'll be a little shaky when I jump on it. And I don't care what you've done. If you didn't drive your car for 2 weeks, when you get back in, you know, you got to get comfortable. Put the seat in right, fix the mirror, get set, get comfortable. Look, whatever you've done, you always need to revisit that training of it, that fundamental start of it. And so I think those two things that you just hit on this morning, momentum and revisit. If we keep that in our mind and keep our momentum and just revisit our training, our good training, you know, I always say that practice, and people always say practice makes perfect. And I say that's 100% wrong. It's perfect practice makes perfect. Because if you're practicing the wrong things, well, then learning it the wrong way. I could teach you how to do something totally backwards, and you could do it right the way I teach you 1,000,000 times, but you're not going to get the process right. So I just love the way you started out. I just wanted to add my 2 cents on that, and I'll toss it back to you, Monica.
Wow, thank you so much, Jay. Yeah, I totally feel that, you know, and I see that's what we need to get ready in some way, because right now it's like when the snowball, you know, like that momentum that suddenly you keep doing things because you are habituated yourself. It's, to me, it's like I have this thing, okay, every day, I want to do something for my business, you know, and I have 2-3 days a week that I'm very much more committed in time, let's say. But the quality I want to enjoy when I'm doing this, to feel gratitude for it, the opportunity to have this business vehicle, to really see my vision clear, you know, every day. And I believe that is the way to build up, you know, like you were saying right now, impeccable action, you know, being present, grateful. I mean, all what we are learning here is so natural, capital letters in our being. So at the end, I love it. To me, it's like my spiritual world. My business entrepreneurship right now, conscious business, a conscious entrepreneur, is helping me to see the spirituality in this world. You know, I just love it. So I feel so much gratitude for seeing the similarity of doesn't matter what you engage. You can engage in an intimate relationship. You can engage in your business when you do it in the right way, capital letter, the certain way. You know, I mean, you have it all, or you can have it all, you know. So let's get ready. I'm telling you here, with this momentum snowball, you know, like what we are going to do, and how we can keep praising more and more, you know, even when you don't see it yet physically, to sense, you know, that is coming. And this book, to me, this journey that we're doing together with this book, is really helping me to understand in a deeper level, you know, the laws of God, the laws of the universe, you know, how they work. And it's so, they are simple. I mean, they are super truth in my heart, you know. So it's a matter of, like you were saying right now, Jay, to take the habit, you know, to really do it mechanical and to be part of that. So beautiful. Well, guys, we're at the end of our call here today, our time together, but I would love to open the call one more time to you, Doc Fran, to really let us know what is your ahas maybe here, and to start to close the energy as a group, to have a wonderful week here. So welcome back, Doc Fran. Yes, I can see the microphone.
Well, I'm just sitting here. I've had a huge smile on my face throughout the entirety of the mastermind discussion, and it's so, you know, Celio, you absolutely nailed the essence of this chapter with your understanding of it. Candace, you followed up as well. Everyone spoke to exactly the same thing, and it was so funny when I first read the chapter. My impression after the first 3 or 4 paragraphs was they must have put the wrong chapter here, the wrong paragraphs under this law of increase. I thought they had misnamed it. And this sounded like, you know, the law of praise, and I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, I don't know if there is a law of praise. Let me go back and look at the content list, you know. And then it finally did, as I read through, and as I read through it a second time, the reality of what Hallowell was saying in this chapter hit me. And it is all about gratitude, and that gratitude leads to increase in our lives. And here's, you know, we know that the universe is infinitely expanding, that all things in life increase continuously, eternally. The real rub is, why are we not experiencing a sensation of increase in our personal lives when we are sitting in as a terminal in time and space in this limitless, expanding abundance? And the key is just what Celio hit. It's being grateful for. Praise and gratitude are synonymous exchanges. Praise is the action, as Arne pointed out, the physical action of being grateful, of expressing gratitude. And going the next step is being grateful for and praising every event, every manifestation, every nuance of your life. And it is in that action of continual and unrelenting gratitude for what is. It's truly an acknowledgement of ourselves as immortal spiritual beings. We do have the essence of God within each and every one of us. We are creating our life, and the reason we create anything is because that's what spiritual beings do. Pure consciousness is pure creation. And so every time we have a creative thought, everything that we manifest, whether it's judged to be a good event or manifestation in our judgment scale, or whether it's an unpleasant or why is this happening to me event in our judgment scale, that's the game we play with ourselves as human beings. Mm-hmm. Bottom line is, if you want to experience the everlasting sensation of increase in your life and feel in the flow of this ever increasing abundance, one must master the art of continuous gratitude for what is. Mm-hmm. And in that, we know the Bible says too that you must pray without ceasing. Well, how can you do that? You know, well, Buddhists and other religious sects often have groups of people who sequester themselves away from the world and lock themselves in a life of eternal prayer, thinking that that's what is being urged by the Master. The reality is, in my belief, is that the true success in life is where we can understand how to pray without ceasing while living and impacting in our human existence at the same time, and converting our prayer and gratitude into increases for everyone, ourselves included, that we connect with and touch. So, God, what a great mastermind. I just love you guys so much. I'm so excited. I can't wait for people to access this, and really this one little chapter, as misnamed as it appears to be, may be a major key to turn on that which all of us seek, and that is the law of attraction operating in manifested abundance for each of us. Back to you, Monica.
Thank you so much, Doc Fran. And with this beautiful energy that you just offer now, I want to close the call today. Just to, to me, it's like we have a week in front of us, how we can apply all what we are learning here today. During the week, like keep exploring, read it again. I don't know, the things that we have to embody, this wisdom, this truth, capital letters, and see how much gratitude we can feel. One of the things that I see, yes?
I just wanted to say that I wanted to take a moment and that we could all really acknowledge what Doc Fran said and agree to it. Because in our group agreement, I think we will have some strength that I forgot how you said it, Doc Fran, just come to embody this and let this chapter be the thing that actually works for us, that trips the switch, that we all come into really living what we're studying. That's what I wanted to say. Sorry to interrupt. Thank you.
No problem at all. Exactly. Well, wonderful. I mean, I think we take that commitment as an individual for sure, and then as a group, we are all, talking on that. So thank you so much, Candace, for highlighting that intention, And to me, I see that we have this week in front of us, so let's apply it. To me, like I wrote something like gratitude for what is coming. To really unite this faith with the praise, with the how the universe likes to unfold is like a flower. The more you acknowledge it, the more you see it, the more that flower, or as a woman, in my case, shines and opens up and gives you all what you want and what you need, because it's natural. I mean, we are an unlimited source, of being. So I love to have this attitude for this next week. And a question that I have for all of us here is like next Saturday is St. Valentine's, the day of love, let's say, romantic love. So I want to check with all of us here. We want to get together that Saturday, or we celebrate that weekend as whoever wants to do. So I would like just to vote. If we get together next Saturday, who say yes, please just put your hand up or something like that here. And we decide if we get together. Beautiful. So more than 3, because I do want Arne too, so I know. So we get together and we play this act of love for us, for our business, and to really improve ourselves, more and more. So Doc Fran, do you agree on that? Beautiful. Great. Wonderful. So we get together then next Saturday. It's going to be February 14, and we see how romantic we get that day, and how much we can celebrate this journey of love, really, in doing, in doing our business. So thank you so much, everyone, for your presence, your wisdom. Have a wonderful week, and see you next Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye now.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Praise you all.